These are the notes for lesson 3-8. You do need a graphing calculator. I hope you already grabbed one. Today we're going to be working with augmented matrices. So since we have a graphing calculator, the first thing we need to do with them is figure out how to put a matrix into the calculator. So I would like you to look at the screen of your calculator and see if you can find the word matrix. So if you have found the word matrix and someone at your table has not, please help them find it. So on your calculator screen, you should see a blue second button and a green alpha button, 2 buttons down. You should find one that says matrix right above the top. And then because we need it later, if you look to the right of the second button, you should see one that says quit. So I have created for you a very small version of your calculator with all the important buttons. Okay, so let us put a matrix in the calculator. Let's type in this little matrix here. I called it matrix A because matrices like to have names. So we go second matrix. Now if you read the top menu, based upon how that we inputted stuff last time, one of those should make the most sense. So we do want to go over to edit. And then since I said, hey, let's call this A, choose option 1, matrix A. So staring at your screen in front of you, there's just a 0 sitting inside of a matrix. A 0 is just a 1 by 1, as the top right corner says. Our matrix A isn't a 1 by 1. How many rows does it have? It does have 2 rows and 1 column. So our matrix is a 2 by 1. So where it says 1 by 1 in the top right corner, we're going to put 2 by 1 instead. And notice the matrix on the screen grew in size. So now we need to type in our 2 numbers of our matrix. We're going to put -2 in the first row and 6 in the second row. And every time you're done typing a matrix in, you must quit. If you don't quit, awful things happen. So you should now be back at a nice plain home screen. So what can we do with matrix A? Well, yesterday we multiplied matrices by numbers. So let's do that again. Let's find 3A. Now you know what the answer should be, so let's just make sure the calculator can give you that answer. So 3 times A. So type in 3, and then go to matrix, and this time you're going to just pick matrix A off that first screen. And if you hit enter one more time, you get what you expect to get, -6, 18. So why in the world do we want to type matrices into the calculator? We can use matrices to solve systems. This is still chapter 3. We are still solving systems. So we are going to use this matrix to solve a system. So our system is going to be 4x minus y equals -2 and 3x minus y equals 6. So from your previous tests, I know that you could solve this by graphing, substitution, or elimination. Most of you had that down pat, but we want to use the calculator instead. So we need to take this set of equations and rewrite it as a matrix. So the matrix is going to have 2 rows because there are 2 equations. And then we just take all the coefficients and rewrite them down. So the 4 from the x goes into our matrix. The -1 from the y goes into our matrix. and then it's augmented, so you put this little weird line. If you don't write it, it's okay. I'm not going to mark anything off. And then -2 for the answer on the other side. And then you do the exact same thing for the second equation. So please write down all those coefficients. So hopefully you filled in 3, -1, +6. There, that looks better. So now what can we do with this? There's an operation on the calculator called rref. It stands for reduced row echelon form. I doubt that you care, but that's what it means. Reduced row echelon form, rref. So go back into matrix. We need to put our matrix into the calculator. So we're going to go over to edit. I'm just going to make this matrix A again. So matrix A is now a 2 by 3. So 2 by 3. And we're just going to type in all of our numbers. You can type on top of the old numbers. It doesn't hurt it at all. And as soon as you have typed in all the numbers and checked to make sure that they are the same, 4, -1, -2, 3, -1, 6, you quit, because we always quit. So go back into the matrix menu. Now the names menu are what you do to the matrices. The edit is how you put it into the calculator. So if we want to find rref, it must be in that math menu. And you just need to scroll until you find rref. There are 2 of them. And you pick rref. What do we want to do rref to? We want to do it to matrix A. So we go back to matrix A, hit enter, and it gives you this weird new matrix. 1, 0, -8, 0, 1, -30. So just this one time, let's translate this back into the systems of equations. So that first one is the one that should be next to the variable x. So we should have 1x plus 0 y's equals -8. And then our second equation should be no x's plus 1y equals -30. So think about this. We are trying to solve a system. Do we know what x equals? Why, yes, we do. That first equation says that x is -8. Do we know what y equals? Of course. This second equation tells you that y is -30. So rref sets up the matrix so that the first row has x in it, and the second row has y in it, and nothing else. So the answers are there on the far right. -8, -30 in this case. So if you wouldn't mind, turn to page 202. I would like you to try problem number 29. Again, you may want to pause the video while you do this, and then hit resume when we are ready to go over the answer. All right, welcome back. You should have written that first equation as 1, 1, 4, and the second one as -4, 1, 9. Then you should have gone into your calculator and hit matrix. Go over to edit. Still a 2 by 3. 1, 1, 4, -4, 1, 9. Quit. If you don't quit, bad things happen. Go back into matrix. Go over to math. Find rref. Choose the matrix that you entered it in as. And we get 1, 0, -1, 0, 1, 5. So our answer is -1, 5. All right, one more time. Please try number 35 on this same page. There is something slightly weird about the setup, but I believe that you can handle it. So take a moment, set up the matrix, type it in, get an answer, pause the video, resume when ready. So hopefully you notice that this time the x's and y's weren't in the right order. So in that first equation, we need x's to be first. So in that first equation, the x coefficient is -4. The y coefficient is 2. The answer was 3. And the second equation, the x coefficient is 4. The y is -3. And it equals -6. So you go back into matrix, you go over to edit, you choose the 2 by 3, you type in your numbers, you make sure they're right, and you quit, and you rref one more time, and you should get 10.75, 0, 1, 3. So our answer is 0.753. Again, if you didn't get that, make sure you put that first row in correctly. Should be -4 x's, 2 y's, 3 was the answer.